everyone, and thanks for tuning into Legatum Gaming, where everybody knows what day it is today. It is the weekly vendor reset. So like most weeks, what I will do is I will go to all of the safe houses, all of the checkpoints, and of course the base of operations. I'll filter out all of the best weapons, gears, and mods just to make it a little easier and more convenient for you guys. If you guys check out below in the description, I've got timestamps for all of these so you can make it a little easier for yourselves. Alright, so let's make a start. Let's check out the special equipment vendor. Now there's three things I want to show you here. The first one being the Liberator. So let's kind of think 1.8, and we all know that the exotic weapons are going to get a buff. So it's worthwhile investing in them now whilst there's some reasonable ones to get. So this has 22% enemy armor damage, and it comes with Prepared, Deadly, and Dominant. Now my recommendation here is to remove Dominant and run it with Prepared and Deadly. Now the third talent here, of course, is the best place to have a free talent. So it's entirely up to you what you pick. This is dependent on how you run, who you play with, or your overall build. Now the third talent, like I said, it has no requirements, so you can literally put in there whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. A couple of worthwhile recommendations would be maybe Adept or maybe Brutal or something like this. I mean, Responsive's pretty good. However, I don't think it's optimized as much with an AR, so I would probably go Brutal here. However, as I said, it's entirely up to you. Now the second one I want to show you is let's get to it down at the bottom. Where are we at? It is the extended magazine. Now, it is 115.5% magazine size, so it's not the best. I'm going to throw that out there straight away. This is mainly aimed at the people that are kind of coming back to it. A lot of people are coming back to the Division ready for 1.8, so if you guys are coming in now, this is mainly aimed at you. Now, you can get them out here for 120 plus magazine size, so there are better ones. I'm going to throw that out there straight away. However, for those maybe up-and-coming players, for the newer players, for the players that are coming back, and just do want a reasonable magazine, this is definitely one for you. Now I did go past it. The third one is the Prototype Electronics mod. Now normally I go for a rule of thumb of having at least 260 as the main stat. However, the major being over 3,300 is really, really good. So maybe this compensates for kind of like the 7 we're actually missing here in electronics. Nonetheless, a pretty good Prototype Electronics mod running at 253 with 3,324 skill power. If you are interested in any of these three, then do check out the knee pads blueprint, the firearms vest blueprint, flash hider, and the heavy magazine spring. Now of course you guys will know I'm missing 2 weapon blueprints. So to give you guys a little indication of what they will be, not what they might be, but what they will be, it will be either MG5, M870, MP7, classic AK-47, the lightweight M4, the SVD, the AUG, the military S8, or the Vector. Now I'm missing 2, and the only reason I'm missing 2 is because I already have them. So basically, if you already have the blueprints, it will enable you to, or unenable you to, not see them. Therefore, the 2 that I'm missing will definitely be one of these gold ones right here. So you kind of got like a, what is that, a 1 in 8, 1 in 9 chance. So to be fair, I only really collect the best, or at least the better blueprints, or at least try to. So you guys can see here, the 2 of the weapons I'm missing, it will definitely be there. So for anybody watching, if you guys could be so kind and you could actually drop a comment below of actually the blueprints that I am missing, just to help the other viewers, that would be certainly appreciated. Medicine's stand safe house, they have a 4% turret damage mod. So for those people who do want to increase their Firecrest build, or at least make it a little better, then do head over here and have a look. Southpaw safe house, there is a 2% prototype performance mod under the name of a pulse critical hit chance. So for those people who do want to increase their critical hit chance build, then go ahead and check this out. At West 39th DZ checkpoint, they have a really nice tactical Vector 45. Now it does start off with 22.5% critical hit chance, and the talents comes with ferocious, responsive, and determined. Now this weapon would only be related to a PvE type of mode, just for the sheer fact it comes with Ferocious and Determined, which are both really good PvE skills, or talents if you like. Now, my recommendation here is actually quite hard, because Ferocious, again, is a really nice talent, and Determined is very underrated. So, Determined, killing a target reduces all skill cooldowns by 7.5%. So, it's, really, really nice here. It's entirely up to you which one you would choose. I would certainly stick with Responsive, just due to the kind of close nature of the kind of SMG. It just works out a little better. So you could actually keep this as it is. However, my personal recommendation would probably be to swap Determined here and maybe put in Deadly or something like this. However, it's entirely up to you, and just thought I would point out a really nice Vector 45 for PvE. Right, guys, at Park Avenue DZ checkpoint, which is the most southern checkpoint in DZ8, it offers you a really nice MP7. Now, it comes with 22% critical hit chance, along with Competent, Responsive, and Hurried. Now, my recommendation here is to take out Hurried and put in Deadly. That way, you have Competent, Responsive, and Deadly. The three combined are the most efficient way to get higher weapon damage. So this way, you can't go wrong. Certainly a really nice MP7, so do check it out. 3 Safe House, they have a really nice lightweight M4. Now it comes with 23% enemy armor damage. Now the talents on this is Swift, Fierce, and Vicious. Now you guys will notice it comes with both Fierce and Vicious. Now both of these specly high into critical hit chance. So Fierce increases your critical hit chance by 5%, and Vicious increases your critical hit chance by 10% if you have more than 2 segments. So there's a couple of things you can do in terms of how you can make this weapon a little better. Now my recommendation, of course, is to take out Swift. Now everybody knows that. However, what do you put here? Now there's quite a few things you could do. Now you could put Adept here, and you could go for all critical hit chance here. So obviously Adept gives you critical hit chance, 7.5% I believe. So that way you you're increasing your critical hit chance by, what is that, 22.5%, and then with all your mods you can just spec it into critical hit damage. So that's one way, or alternatively you could put maybe like Brutal or something like that, or even Deadly. Either way it would work really, really nice, and all in all it's a really, really nice lightweight M4. For Safe House, they have a 6% first aid self-heal. So for those guys who do want to have a good prototype performance mod, then go ahead and check this out. DZ6 Safe House, for those people who haven't got the classified and they do want something a little different, then they have a reasonable pair of Reclaimer gloves. Now the armor is 903, so it's not really the best. However, it's certainly not the worst. It comes with 1229 firearms, 7.5% enemy armor damage, 5.5% critical hit chance, and 14% critical hit damage. So the major attributes are really nice. My recommendation here would be to improve firearms and get it around the 1270 mark. Or alternatively, if you're going for kind of like the healer skill build, then of course spec it into electronics. Nonetheless, a reasonable pair of Reclaimer gloves for those people who don't already have the classified gear, or if they want to try something a little different. 8 Safe House offers you a reasonable pair of Savage gloves. Now, I know most people will probably have Savage gloves by now. Again, mirrored before, for those people who are after a better pair of Savage gloves for the newer players, or at least for the players returning, then these are reasonable. Now, the armor is 945, so not the best, however, certainly not the worst. Now, it comes with 1217 firearms. The majors is 9% skill haste, 965 SMG damage, and 5% critical hit chance. Now, my recommendation is to change the firearms. Obviously, the only reason by you doing that means you'd have to stick with an SMG just to get the most potential out of the gloves. Now, I would change the firearms, or at least increase it to around the 1270 mark. Nonetheless, for those people who are after a better pair of Savage gloves, then do head over to DZ8 Safe House and check it out. Safe House. So for those people who do know what that means, it means it's the end of the weekly vendor reset. So what I always do is I always pick a weapon, gear, or mod just so we can recap it. Now this week I have a Banshee Shadow Holster. Now normally I would never put this in, but it's the last stop of the week, so let's go ahead. Now it has 928 armor, so it is pretty low. Does have 1260 firearms, 1235 stamina, and 1170 electronics. However, the major attribute is very promising at a 6% skill haste. My recommendation here is to increase the electronics and to get it around the 1270 mark. Nonetheless, like I said, I wouldn't normally add that in. However, for those people who do watch on a regular basis, I always put in something at the last stop. Nonetheless, like I said, that is the end of the weekly vendor reset. I do apologize for it being a pretty poor weekly vendor reset. However, don't shoot the messenger. If you guys did like this video, or at least do want to see more weekly vendor resets or state of the game updates and recaps, along with more Division content in preparation for 1.8, it's due to release next Tuesday, just guessing, then do consider a subscribe to the channel. If not, drop a comment, let me know how I could improve it. See you all in the next video, guys.